आज के ज़माने में एक डायरेक्टर का who's battling different formats, who's trying to chase and work well in different formats, सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज क्या है?
Uh, Aamir sir, I call him the Atlantis, that utopia. I call him a refugee camp. Because for all the misfit directors who want to tell a story and who want to tell a different story, Aamir sir will never say this is how it should be done. He will never do that. That's a big misconception. He will never come from a place of authority or from power. He will try to understand your vision. There was one particular location where I tried to optimize it for production. And something told me that Aamir sir bolenge ye to location nahi tha. But I thought, okay, it's a small scene, we can get it done. I remember him coming to set and he said, Prasanna, this is not the location. Huh? Why are we doing it here? I said, no, sir, we can do it there. Today we have finished a little early. So, यहाँ पे scene को उड़ा सकते हैं means you can shoot up the scene here. It's a small scene. And we have finished ahead of time. So that way, if we shoot it here, then we don't have to go to that location, set it up. ऐसा मत कर यार. ऐसा मत कर. If you finished your shoot on time, let's wrap early. But I think it works better there. And then we had it there. Yes, sir, it works better there. Then we eventually did it there. Honestly speaking, the only clarity I have right now, and Aamir sir also wants to put out as a communication, is that our movie is going to release in the theatres.
Absolutely.
On 20th June. And he's very, very clear about that. And I completely trust him. Like, he will figure out the best way to take it to the audience. One time when I felt ki, हाँ यार, this is why he's Aamir Khan, was one of the test screenings. Not for this film, for some other film.
Yeah.
The way he spoke to the audience after the screening and he asked them for honest feedback about it and saying, बुराई जो है फिल्म में वो बताओ. एक बार भी वो ये नहीं पूछे कि praise the film or, and it's not once, it was a 1 hour session and he would go on and on and on with until everybody had said criticism. And sometimes लगता है सर छोड़ दीजिए ना सर इतना भी harsh अभी अच्छा है छोड़ दो. He will go on and on, man. Hi, I'm RS Prasanna. आप मुझे शुभोजित के YouTube चैनल पे देख रहे हो एंड जून 20th हमारे हैं सितारे ज़मीन पर ओनली इन थिएटर्स. मुझे बहुत मज़ा आया शुभोजित के साथ बात करने में. ऐसा लगा कि मेरा दोस्त के साथ बात कर रहा हूँ एंड आई एम वेरी वेरी हैप्पी फॉर हिम एंड कीप वॉचिंग हिज चैनल एंड ऑन 20th June Sitaare Zameen Par only in theatres.
Only in theatres, June 20th is the date. Mark your calendars right now. Ladies and gentlemen, सितारों का जो सिलसिला है वो यहाँ पे it's going to be continuing in the best way possible in the month of June as well. And ज़मीन पर का तो पता नहीं मेरे को, लेकिन मेरे साथ यहाँ पे अभी सेट पे यहाँ पे मौजूद है हमारे सितारे ज़मीन पर के डायरेक्टर प्रसन्ना सर. हो ये इट्स अ प्लेजर टू हैव यू सर. हाउ आर यू डूइंग सबसे पहले बताइए.
Same here.
Is the energy as high as the stars in terms of the vibrancy and positive energy around?
Yeah, touch wood.
क्या बात है. How nice. You know, gearing up for a release, it's a big release, big star cast, big subject as well. Butterflies hote in the stomach in terms of a release, or is it like, nee, I'm confident, not overconfident, but I'm confident in terms of, because I've seen the entire output, मैंने सब देखा है, and I know कि आज के ज़माने के audience को वो अच्छा लगेगा. What is the emotion like inside?
Well, it's a very strange emotion, and this is what we actually live for. I read somewhere a beautiful quote that if you're afraid about a journey and equally excited, and the excitement is a little above your fear, then start on the journey. So I think it's the same thing. One is constantly afraid, one is always panicky and nervous, but one hopes that is balanced by the fact that one is also excited to take this to the audience. So I think that it's that point when your excitement kind of takes over your fear, that's when you take it to the audience, and that's where I am.
सर, आज के ज़माने में जब हम लोग बात करते हैं about audience retention going down, this, that, etc., the overall patience level has gone down tremendously. But at the end of the day, when you're a director who's calling the shots, who's taking calls on the edit, etc., you want your content to come out as crisp, but at the same time, kabhi challenge ho sakta hai to fit in a certain emotion within a certain time frame, right? आज के ज़माने में एक डायरेक्टर का who's battling different formats, who's trying to chase and work well in different formats, सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज क्या है?
आई थिंक आज के डायरेक्टर्स द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज इज to retain your intuition, to keep your voice of your whispery voice of your soul alive, because there is, data is a very dangerous thing. Movies were always made when there was no data. There was some data ki this person's film has done this much money. There was just enough data for you to kind of raise the money, but after that it was always gut. That's why producers and studios in India and in Hollywood, those studios which are run by passionate people like Mr. Aamir, when he runs production house, there is data, but eventually he goes by his gut. And he constantly says that in all his interview, कि वो X factor है, वो define कर नहीं पाएंगे. It's like falling in love. If I ask you, why do you fall in love with this particular person? You can say she is beautiful, she is this, but beyond that, you can't explain that X. And that unexplainable thing is what makes a movie beautiful. It's not numbers, it's not Excel sheet. Everything cannot be put into numbers. That which cannot be put into an Excel sheet is what the audience also wants. So I think the challenge of today is that when you have a little data, a lot of people pretend to be experts therefore. They will throw data at you. So to keep your voice intact, to keep your intuition intact, to stay connected to that audience within you is the challenge for a director at all times, even more so today.
सर यू स्पोक अबाउट डेटा विच इज़ अ वेरी क्रिटिकल थिंग. आज के ज़माने में हम लोग बात करते हैं दैट पहले के ज़माने में क्या होता था, मूवी प्रोड्यूसर्स बनाते थे. अभी द कॉन्वर्सेशन इज दैट मूवी कॉर्पोरेट्स बनाते हैं, राइट? सो ऑफ कोर्स कॉर्पोरेट्स विल नॉट हैव दैट क्रिएटिव अंडरस्टैंडिंग विच अ क्रिएटिव डायरेक्टर or say a producer like Aamir Khan who has been there, done that for the longest time will have, right? आपके लिए for a director, what does this freedom mean? Because and you know that you're in safe hands. If there's any way where you need a bit of creative guidance, you have someone like an Aamir Khan to fall back and guide you throughout the entire process, right? What does that mean to you?
It means the world to me, which is why I waited to work with sir, because I think Aamir sir, I call him the Atlantis, that utopia. I call him a refugee camp. Because for all the misfit directors who want to tell a story and who want to tell a different story, right? Like for example in the in the trailer itself, the mother tells that I fought for you, you need to fight for them. So Aamir sir is a fighter. He fights the whole world to support the film and the director. Like Aamir sir works from his heart and his gut, and I feel that that's when the best movies happen, because we are all human beings, we are all audiences. Now a lot of things, what is happening now is that which cannot be put into an Excel sheet or a PPT is not valid anymore. I mean, our whole universe that we perceive itself, what we see through the telescope. Imagine if somebody said, what you see in your eyes is the only world. No, you want a telescope and you see that there is so much more to the world. No, but I can see only this with my eyes. So no world exists beyond that. So I think the battle is actually between understanding that the data ends at a point and the intuition should begin at a point. And that's very difficult because you are having money is data, right? It's a fact that it costs this much money. So you cannot beyond a point say my intuition says that we can spend this much money. So I think somebody like Aamir sir balances that so well. Like he knows he storytelling comes from his gut. But as a producer, he knows the numbers, he knows how to get the best people working on board to optimize cost. So I think with Aamir sir, it's like Atlantis for me.
आपका उनके साथ पहला मुलाकात या मीटिंग याद है आपको?
बिल्कुल याद है.
What happened there?
पहला वीडियो कॉल आया था, चेन्नई में था मैं, तो I was wearing some banyan shirt type and I didn't know that whether to put on my shirt or to attend sir's call. Because
time नहीं होता.
What if this call doesn't? And I was waiting for his call. So I was like, arey yaar, of all time, sir has to call me when I'm in my shorts and banyan type. Anyway, I took the call. I kept it like this. So he doesn't see me. But within 2-3 minutes, the way he made me so comfortable that I said, chalo yaar. Then I don't remember what of me he had seen. And I felt very comfortable. And then we met at his house for almost like from morning till evening, almost an 8-hour session of like a conversation, just two people talking, and within 15 minutes he made me addressed all my anxiety, and I was like, first time I'm working with a superstar. I'm used to working on projects where I have a lot of, clarity about the shots I want and how I want to tell my story. And I've always got that support. One has to earn it, by the way, as a director. I remember my co-producer in my first film telling me that, Prasanna, get your first 5 days of shoot. Do it so well that every actor, every person trusts you. Don't think a director should get trust automatically. They should doubt you. Because you're a young director. They worked with bigger directors than you. You should earn the trust by your homework and by answering their questions correctly. All of these. I always remember that. So with Sir also, I was telling all of these things. Sir, I'm working with you for the first time. I hope I don't let you down. And I have clarity about a lot of things. And when I don't, I hope I can seek your advice on that. And within 5 minutes, it was like, we connected so well because of Aamir Sir's grace. If you meet him, he's a kind of a person who kind of makes you feel very comfortable.
वो कौन सा मोमेंट था ड्यूरिंग द शूट और ड्यूरिंग द क्रिएटिव मीटिंग्स वेयर यू परहैप्स ऑलवेज यू हैड द क्लैरिटी बट कभी कोई ऐसा मोमेंट था जहाँ पे आपको लगा कि यार यहाँ पे क्या होना चाहिए, हाउ टू मेक इट बेटर, आई एम नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग, एंड दैट्स व्हेन द जीनियस दैट आमिर खान इज, ही स्टेप्ड into the scenario and he told you that this is how it should be done. कोई ऐसा moment रहा है?
Aamir sir will never say this is how it should be done. He will never do that. That's a big misconception. He will never come from a place of authority or from power. He will try to understand your vision. And he will make you understand how to achieve it. He is there on the ground with you. Like, for example, I have not handled a film of this scale, right? I have superstar on one side, I have other superstars, the 10 of them. So, for example, I'll give you a tiny example. For the casting process, right? I told sir that we need to go with real people. But how do we do it? Like, it may take a year, it may take 8 months, and I need to audition so many people. While I was talking all of these things, nothing, you just come to Bombay, we'll start. And he was there like a rock of support. Like every month I would go to him and update him, ki sir, theek tak ho raha hai. And he would say, when it's ready, you come and show me. So he's always there to support you when you want. And like, for example, I'll give you an example. There was one particular location where I tried to optimize it for production. And something told me that Aamir sir bolenge, ye to location nahi tha. But I thought, okay, it's a small scene, we can get it done. I remember him coming to set and he said, Prasanna, this is not the location. Huh? Why are we doing it here? I said, no, sir, we can do it there. Today we have finished a little early. So, yahan pe scene ko uda sakte hain. Uda sakte means you can shoot up the scene here. It's a small scene. And we have finished ahead of time. So that way, if we shoot it here, then we don't have to go to that location, set it up. Aisa mat kar yaar. Aisa mat kar. If you finished your shoot on time, let's wrap early. But I think it works better there. And then we had it there. Yes, sir, it works better there. Then we eventually did it there. So I would say Aamir sir makes you a better filmmaker by constantly reminding you that, yaar, what was the script? So don't compromise on production. So imagine he's a producer. And imagine I am the director. I am saying, sir, I am trying to optimize for production. And he's saying, don't optimize for production. To storytelling kar. Don't worry about me. So it's an incredible, just an absolute incredible person to work with. And I feel that I've worked with producers who are directors. My first film in Tamil, my producer was a director. First film in Hindi, Shubmangal Savdan, Anand Rai is one of the greatest directors we have. Aamir sir, one of the finest filmmakers we have. I actually have gained a lot by working with directors because so many things I don't even have to communicate. They already understand that, okay, it'll come out this way. Maybe if it were a traditional producer, I might have to take that extra effort to kind of visualize it and show it to them and convince them that this is how it's going to look. But because they are such great directors themselves, they know, okay, this is what you're talking. Okay. So I find that it is, for me, much easier working with a producer who's a filmmaker too.
Yeah. Sir, Sitaare Zameen Par, of course, in terms of content, has been in news for all the right reasons. And also, I think, एक revolutionary change ये लाने वाला है in the entire industry, I would say, in terms of the release mechanism, right? People are talking about it releasing in cinemas, but उसके बाद, the kind of conversations that have happened about, the release on YouTube, etc. It's a very new thing. You feel that it will be a trendsetter in this space, and Sitaare Zameen Par के बाद a lot of other movies will also follow the same, I would say, business model in terms of, releasing it on a platform like YouTube, because when there can be doubts in terms of the return on production, a format or a platform like YouTube can really help and ease the process? क्या लगता है आपको?
See, honestly speaking, the only clarity I have right now, and Aamir sir also wants to put out as a communication, is that our movie is going to release in the theatres.
Absolutely.
On 20th June. And he's very, very clear about that. And I completely trust him. Like, he will figure out the best way to take it to the audience. I have the absolute confidence in Aamir sir to be the trendsetter. Honestly speaking, all of these are rumors. So nothing has come officially from Aamir sir himself. Even in the podcast, he said recently that he is not yet locked anything. He wants to make it clear. See, I think where he comes from, even in Waves, sir has spoken about that. Yeah, there should be a clarity today to the audience that this movie I will watch in the theatre. Why am I confusing him or her with another parallel narrative? Ki एक महीना के बाद OTT पे आएगा, which he does that famous thing he does by saying I can't salute something twice. So I am also excited as an audience and as a person who's part of the industry that Aamir sir will lead the way and show the way. And also one thing with Aamir sir is वो जो भी करते हैं ना, इतना सोच समझ के करते हैं, इतना डिस्कशन के बाद करते हैं, and he takes everybody's feedback. Trust me, he is the most democratic person I have met. He will take the feedback of an intern, he will take the feedback of an audience. And finally, when he arrives at that clarity, boss, nobody can stop him. Because it has arrived after a long time of thinking about it. And once he decides, I am also very excited that he's going to do something with Sitaare Zameen Par.
Super.
But I have no idea what he's going to do. And I love that. I trust him completely. And it's not blind trust.
Yeah.
With Aamir sir, it's not blind trust. It's open-eyed trust.
बिल्कुल.
I trust sir completely.
बिल्कुल. आपके हिसाब से that X factor क्या है in terms of सितारे ज़मीन पर content which you think will really lead the way? Of course, there's Aamir Khan sir. एक trust and good faith अपने आप आ जाता है when it comes to Aamir sir. But आपके हिसाब से that X factor क्या है which will really cement its niche?
I think as an Aamir sir fan, I feel this has got all the elements of an Aamir Khan experience, where you have always Aamir sir brings you something different, but he brings it with entertainment and hatke thought. So this has that. Like, for example, it's like in the trailer itself. Like as Aamir sir's fan, I would assume that to see Aamir sir making fun of his own height, I feel it's a very modern film, a very irreverent film, but with a heart in its right place. So I think hopefully this movie will make you laugh and have a happy time in the theatre, where you can bring your whole family, be it your kids or your father, mother, or your in-laws, whatever. And as a family, you can come, you can laugh, you can cry, and you can have a happy experience. Is what I hope happens in the theatres. This movie has its heart in its right place, and it's blessed by the Sitaare. They have an energy which is, I feel, very divine. I feel it is something which is beyond just a movie. I feel very spiritual connection with them. And I must tell you, one of our Dr. Nina Vaidya, who's our consultant on special needs, she told a very beautiful line, and she said, I'll try to say it in Hindi, it was very beautiful, but forgive my Chennai Hindi if I make any mistake.
We love that, we embrace that.
Yeah, so she said that जो महान और संत होते हैं ना हिमालयास में बैठ के वो तपस्या करके इतने सालों के बाद जो एक माइंड स्पेस वो अटेन करते हैं स्पिरिचुअलिटी का, ये सितारे, they are born with it.
Oh, wow.
And when you experience their hug, man, it's something else. I don't know what is there within them. Maybe, they are so pure, they've overcome so many challenges, and yet वो इतना happy रहते हैं. तो उनका hug में ना वो जादू का जब भी इतना beautiful होता है. I want the audience to experience that. And I think already trailer में people are calling me and saying,
झलक मिल गया.
Why am I crying? That trailer reaction में so many people called and said, why am I crying? I'm supposed to feel why is I said, welcome to Sitaare. They are a different energy altogether. And very healing energy.
Sir, last question आपसे ये रहेगा कि we all know the kind of great that Aamir sir is. वो कौन सा एक moment था during the shoot or during meeting him where आपको लगा कि ये इंसान क्या है, because he on one hand is a megastar, a superstar, adjectives can run short. But on the other hand, he's one of the most humble human beings around as well.
He is.
He will not give you that feel care you're talking to a superstar.
Never.
Which is, I think, his biggest quality.
Never.
when was that first moment when you actually had two thoughts कि यार मतलब we all know him as a superstar, but does he himself consider himself a superstar? ये आपको कब लगा पहली बार?
हर बार लगता है हर बार लगता है कि it's not an act, because you can't act for 5 years. I mean, I know him intimately for 5. Every day it shocks me sometimes. I have to remind him that, sir, you are a superstar. Like, you know, like he is aware of it for sure, but I think he comes from a very, very he must, though I think he will never admit to it, and he doesn't believe in this, but I feel he's a very spiritual guy. I think he's so centered, he's so rooted, and he genuinely he's curious about people, he wants to connect, and he wants to be a good human being, you know. So I think that every day you will feel with him, like, you know, that's an energy that he has, like Sitaare, he's got that very beautiful energy about him. But one time when I felt ki हाँ यार, this is why he's Aamir Khan, you know, was one of the test screenings. Not for this film, for some other film.
Yeah.
The way he spoke to the audience after the screening and he asked them for honest feedback about it and saying, बुराई जो है फिल्म में वो बताओ. एक बार भी वो ये नहीं पूछे कि praise the film, or and it's not once, it was a 1 hour session, and he would go on and on and on with until everybody had said criticism. And sometimes लगता है सर छोड़ दीजिए ना सर, इतना भी harsh, अभी अच्छा है छोड़ दो. He will go on and on, man. Even if one child in that screening says, sir, हाँ बोलो सर आपका ना वो सीन में एक्टिंग गलत था. अच्छा, which scene? Then he is so genuinely curious, man. And he came to me and said, sir, hats off to you. Like you are going after negative feedback. I have to learn that from you. And all of us. So that's when I felt, yeah, this is Aamir magic. Because he wants to be a perfectionist. He wants to make sure कि मुझे बुराई बोलो. इसमें क्या? Because I want to correct myself. अभी time है. वो इतना level of, I remember Sachin Tendulkar, you know, talking about in Chennai, I think some waiter had told him about a feedback about
yes.
You remember that, right?
I remember. Even one of the waiters had told Adam Gilchrist as well.
Okay.
That, sir, आपने ये shot गलत खेला था. That's when Gilchrist realized the passion of Indians, you know, for cricket, etc. So everybody has a feedback, but that's the highlight of greats, right? That, you know, you give priority to all the thoughts.
I think in their heart, they want to reach that perfection. Their ego is not at all there in that equation. They're like, I will learn from everybody. I think that's what makes Aamir sir magical, and I would love to imbibe for all of us to at least have 10% of that in our lives. I think our life will be more difficult, but also beautiful.
Beautiful,
because it's very ego crushing.
Correct,
you know?
correct.
But I think that's amazing. He has zero ego.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, Sitaare Zameen Par aa raha hai. June 20th is the date. Please go and watch it in cinemas near you. I think we had a very fascinating conversation with Prasanna sir, the man behind the vision. And, you know, I think we all heard about Aamir Khan's greatness. We all about sir's vision towards the project. There's a lot more that you can see once the movie releases in cinemas. Thank you so much. And stay tuned for this episode and many more in the future. And 20 तारीख को अपने फैमिली के साथ जाओ. जिसके साथ भी जाना है जाओ, देखो सितारे ज़मीन पर, एंजॉय करो, हैव फन एंड हैव अ ब्लास्ट. दैट्स ऑल. थैंक यू.